Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Jason Show Home Edition. I'm Jace. I hope you guys are having a really good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I greatly appreciate it. The staff appreciates it. Kendall is back, everyone. I'm telling you. I was so happy for Tuesday's episode because we got so many emails about Kendall. When's she coming back? Where is she? Well, she's back. She made her return on Tuesday, and she's with us. She has a really great story coming up in just a little bit. But right now, I just hope everyone is doing really well. I know for myself, what is helping me is to watch just, this is week 5. I watch just a little bit of news. I read just enough to stay informed. And then what I have done, and I'll probably do a segment about this very soon. What I do now, right before I go to bed, I watch the Golden Girls. I've said this a couple times, but I watch something that makes me happy. So either Golden Girls or Dallas or something that takes me back to a gentler, calmer time. So yeah, let me open up the mailbag too, because some of you, I'll do a little bit of this a little bit later on as well. I'm getting so many questions from you on the various Facebook pages, and I so appreciate it. I'll try to get to all of you, but I wanted just to get to a couple questions to start off the show before we get to the hot dish. A lot of folks are asking about my mom. I just want to say that my mom is doing great. Like I said a couple weeks ago, there are good days and bad days. And she lives in Louisiana, and Louisiana is getting hit very hard. So I basically took duct tape and I duct taped her to her couch. And I told her she can't leave till September. But no, she's like all of us, She has anxiety. She's scared. My mom is in her 60s. And she hasn't had her hair done in like 4 months. She looks like Rapunzel. Right there. Again, you don't want to know what's under this twins cap. You don't want to know. It's been so long since I've seen Mermaid. That's the woman who cuts my hair. Her real name is Kara. But you guys know I call her Mermaid because she believes in mermaids and we fight about that. But anyway, I digress. I haven't seen Kara, Mermaid, for so long. I don't even know if she still believes in mermaids. I don't know. But you don't want to see this. You don't. I'm going to cut it myself very soon. But one more question. People asking about the dogs. How are the dogs doing? They're right in the other room. Maybe they'll make an appearance in a future episode. They're doing great. I think Dexter is getting a little irritated that I'm still around, that I'm around all the time playing Animal Crossing and not paying attention to him. But they're all doing well. And folks are asking about Alexis and her baby on the radio show. We're hoping to have Alexis on really soon. Lex is busy making masks, not medical grade masks. I always find it very important to say that. But like our buddy Christopher Straub on Tuesday's episode, Lex is making these really creative masks. You can see all of her stuff. Just follow her on social media, Lex and the Cities. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let me take a sip of coffee. Speaking of that, have you guys been watching our buddy Wendy Williams? John Oliver did a great rundown of Wendy's shows at home. Girl, she's cracking me up. She's eating like chicken fingers. She's eating and she's in her dining room. Our boss doesn't like when people eat on the air or drink. So First
of all, I've never cared about sharing my emotions with you. I cry.
No, I'm not purposely trying to make my boss mad. Anyway, when I watch Wendy, I think you go, girl, because she doesn't care. Wendy gives zero blanks anymore. And there is something appealing about that. She's sitting in her dining room, eating pizza, eating beef sticks. I love it. But you can see John Oliver kind of championing Wendy on the Last Week Tonight YouTube video. Speaking of celebrities, let's get started, everybody. It is time for the quarantine hot dish. I don't know if there's there should be an animation right there. I don't know if there is. Anyway, let's get started. Our show, all shows that are still on the air, Wendy, we're all doing things different, including American Idol. They're coming back after taking a few weeks off. They had a few episodes in the can, and things are going to be very different. Look at this. Production on the season shut down, like I said last month, with contestants sent home at the conclusion of Hollywood Week. Well, Hollywood Reporter is now saying producers are working to set up mini studios in everyone's home. That's 20 peeps, 4 judges, Ryan Seacrest, a partridge in a pear tree, all while connecting all that to dozens of producers. That's crazy. Fairness and sound quality is an obstacle, as you can imagine. Production is working with Verizon. No shameless plug there, but they really are, to ensure that the contestants have the same internet speed so no one gets an advantage. Yeah, think about that. Viewers will cut the top 20 in half Sunday night and repeat that over the next 2 weeks with the May 17th finale. Okay, if everything is the same, like you can't have one person having 2 bars and then, Sally Joe over there having 4 bars and having great internet. You do have to make it fair. So I hope, Verizon can do it. I hope y'all got some good cell towers over there. This is cool. Look, I got to tell you, you can criticize a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, there are people watching this show right now that are really bothered by the ring light reflection in my glasses. Believe me, I've tried everything. I do have reflective filters on my glasses. I have them high up. Anyway, you can criticize little things, but you got to give these shows credit for trying. I haven't watched Idol in a while. I'm actually going to watch this. I'm actually going to see how this plays out. Next in the dish, let me take one more drink. There we go. You guys know that I'm a giant sports fan, right? Huge sports fan. No, but I am a guy that is from the Chicago area. I grew up in Chicago. I rooted for the Bears. I didn't know what I was rooting for, but I rooted for them. And I rooted for the Chicago Bulls. I'm lucky enough that I was around during the Michael Jordan era. Well, take a look at this. The first 2 episodes of The Last Dance debuted over the weekend. Now, what is that? That's the Michael Jordan docuseries chronicling his final season with the Bulls. I actually remember that season. ESPN actually moved up the release date when they realized that we all needed a good distraction at home, and we had already watched Tiger King twice. The first episodes check this out, brought in more than 6 million viewers. That is a huge number to put it in perspective for cable. And ESPN will air the first 2 episodes a week until May 17th. Again, you guys know this. I'm not a big sports guy. I do like the Twins. But I do like sports documentaries. I love sports movies. I love Rudy. Again, Indiana. I love Sean Astin and Rudy. I like Hoosiers with Gene Hackman. I still don't know what a Hoosier is, and I'm from Indiana. My point being, I love a good sports documentary, and this one killing it. So you can see that on ESPN. My dear friends, we are going to take a small break. We have a great show ahead. We're going to make some cocktails. That's right. Kendall, like I said, is back with a great story. She's next. Our friends Jeff and Ted are going to stop by. Who knows who's going to stop by? It could be anybody. So go grab another cup of coffee, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Stay right there. Back in a moment.
And welcome back to the Jason Show, everybody. Now, we all know that things have been a little bit different lately. All you have to do is get in your car and you can see that there's no one on the roads, no businesses are open, parks are closed. It's just very wonky out there. But very few of us have probably seen how things look from above. You can now, however, because of these two. Our next guest, that's Jay Christensen. Hi, Jay.
How's it going, Kendall?
Hey. And Mike Welsh. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Kendall.
I know you guys obviously through years of being in the drone community, but both you based right here in the Twin Cities, been piloting and operating drones and with videography for years now. And I was on Instagram. I was looking on your Instagram, Mike, and I'm like, what? This video has been up for, at the time, 24 hours and has 60,000 views. What is going on? It's a video of Minneapolis completely void of people. It's like the city is butt naked. It is so weird. Tell me why you guys decided to go out and fly over the city and sort of make a memory of this time.
Yeah, it was interesting just because, Mike and I have always been working with each other on a lot of similar projects, and we've always been inspired by Minneapolis history. It's such a great city, and during this time, it's just an interesting current event where this is the only time you could really go out and document something like that. And so, we dual operated an Inspire drone. We drove out in our own cars, and we made sure to stay 6 feet away. But we were able to realize, like, it's completely desolate, and even though, like, we're all at home and it's gonna be like this for a little longer, we wanted to show people, like, we're not too far away from getting back to what we love. And Minneapolis is a city that not everybody right away appreciates. Like, they're like, oh, it's so cold here.
Right.
But once you kind of have that taken away from you, you really start to take into perspective how awesome Minneapolis really is. And in this video, Mike and I wanted to show that to everyone.
I think it's funny, by the way, you just threw out dual op. Like, I know what that means
Oh, yeah.
from my experience with drones, but people probably heard of DJI. That's the big, big drone company, and you guys are flying one of their nicer drones together. Before we get back to the video, tell me about the schematics of that. So one of you is operating, the other one's operating the camera. How does that work?
Well, we like to call it family style, but basically it's one person operates the drone, which in this video I was operating the drone while Jay was operating the camera. And it's really nice because it allows you to have the camera operator focus on the shot without worrying about where the drone is, which allows for super cinematic shots. And Jay and I have been doing this together for almost 5 years, so we've developed a really good partnership and team on this. So it's probably our favorite thing to do as drone operators.
And you guys, for people who are watching that watch the Jason show, know Yam House. They know how much we love those guys. You love them too. You actually shoot all their music videos. Jay, you were just saying that's what you guys were doing before we went on lockdown, essentially.
That's right. Yeah. And Jason and Kendall, thank you guys for showing the Thrill music video. That was awesome. And yeah, Yam House, they're a great bunch of guys. And we got to work on a new project, an unreleased song that we started shooting, and we have pretty big hopes and aspirations and plans for it. But right when the lockdown started, we had to just put it on hiatus and just try to hope that we can get back on it as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's got to be weird for you guys. You're so used to working with people. Yeah, you're operating a drone from the air, and you can operate the drone from far away from them, but they can't all be together. So, Mike, what have you been doing this whole time? Have you just been making videos like the one you just made, or have you just been kind of waiting for things to get back to normal?
Yeah, like most people, Jay and I have had a lot of free time. So just finding, things to shoot to occupy our time. And that's kind of how this video came about. Is it's like, well, we don't have a lot of jobs to shoot right now, so let's just go try to take advantage of this weird, quiet city that we have. So yeah, it's kind of a weird hiatus from work, but it's a good opportunity to get creative and try new things.
Jay, I know you, both of you are sports fans, but Jay, you're like hardcore Minnesota sports fan. Some of my favorite shots were inside of different stadiums. Like, you went inside US Bank, you went inside a Target Center. Shots like that, how did you get access to that? That's so cool.
Yeah, and a good friend of ours is Noah Furchi and Grant Ridpath. They work for their respective teams, the Timberwolves and Vikings, and we've been able to work on really cool projects with them, utilizing drones and just standard filming as well over the last few years. And so a lot of those shots of the inside the Target Center shot and inside US Bank Stadium, me and Mike got those a few years ago on the interior just to shoot for them. And it really, once we started to see these empty streets, we saw that how these shots paired well with,
Right.
this emptiness vibe. And we wanted to show the venues and the places we all used to go, like warm summer nights at Target Field, not having that. And it really just it's somewhere we want to show, like, we're really close to getting back to that, and it's really worth waiting. And so, yeah, Grant and Noah, those guys hooked us up with really great opportunities and helped this project come to a complete sequence.
And we got about a minute left. When I saw the video, it had close to 100,000 likes, and this was only when you'd been posting it for like 24 hours. I don't know how many, once we air this, there will be, but how has it been seeing your video go kind of viral, Mike? Is it weird? Is it cool? Is it? What is it?
It's super weird. I mean, it's awesome to see it shared and all the inspiration it's giving people. And I just saw this morning that like Amy Klobuchar shared it, and it's awesome. I mean, it's fun, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. So it's been a cool experience, and I'm getting weird phone calls from. I had this lady call me to ask me to burn a DVD of it for her. So it's it's creating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't think I have the technology. But I told her I'd send her a link. So it's fun to see it blow up. I'm just happy people are enjoying the video and being able to appreciate Minneapolis.
Well, we're showing the video to everyone watching right now, but they can also find it online. Social media pages, Sky Candy Studios, right, Mike?
Yep,
and Jay, what's your social media now?
Jaybird Films, bird with a Y.
Jaybird Films. You heard it here, guys. We will have more when the Jason Show comes right back.
And welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the show so far from my home. Look, and we got fancy. We have a monitor now. Ooh. That is called I Stole That From My Kitchen. That's right. As I said last week, I'm trying to do a lot of positive good news to keep you smiling, because it doesn't seem like it, but there is some really good things happening. Really good people are doing really good things. I encountered a lot of folks this weekend. I want to say thanks to everyone that I met last weekend in Minnetonka, in Eden Prairie, in Edina, in Woodbury. I saw kind of the best and the worst in humanity last weekend, mostly the best. And you're going to see an example of the best a little bit later in our show. But right now, some good news. There is a milk maker in Wisconsin. Hi, Wisconsin, who, a lot of dairy farmers have an excess of milk. Well, what this particular milk maker, I love that that's what the story calls him. I think there's just dairy farmer, but this dairy farmer is doing is bottling the milk and putting it in a refrigerator outside of his house for free and giving it to folks. And just like that free library system, and they have to refill it every couple hours because people are taking them up on their generosity. How great is that? The farmer has the extra milk, and there are people that need it right now, people that are out of work, people that really need food and drink. I just think that's fantastic. So to that farmer, hopefully maybe you're watching. Bravo to you. Bravo to you. Our next good story comes from Indianapolis. This guy, I don't know particular what exact town it is, but a guy just beat cancer, okay? Just beat cancer and then got COVID-19. Can you imagine? Got COVID-19 right after cancer. Survived both. Came home just this last week to a neighborhood parade. They social distanced, but he came home and the neighbors were lined up in cars. They were lined up in their driveways, just cheering, and they had balloons. And I just thought, now see, that is good people right there. So to that gentleman, you, my friend, you are strong. You beat cancer and you beat COVID-19. God bless you. That's fantastic. And finally, last month, more than 40 factory workers in Pennsylvania, 40 in Pennsylvania decided to quarantine together. And you're thinking, okay, why? They quarantined together to 24 hours a day make masks, not medical masks. I always like to say, when we had Christopher Straub on, these are not N95 masks, but I think it's N95. Yeah, N95 masks. But these are masks that this company wanted to make. So these employees quarantined together, and they just got done. Are you ready? I want to get this right. With an epic 28-day work shift. 28 days they've been working nonstop. They would take turns sleeping, so they were making masks around the clock. How great is that? That's the best of humanity right there. That's really good. If you hear of a local story, someone that is really stepping up in this challenging time, let me know. Just search for us on Facebook. Just search Jason Show TV. Send us a direct message, and who knows, it could be spotlighted right here in our good news segment. We're going to take a small break, everybody. Stay right there. Go get another glass of milk, and we'll be back after this. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. Well, I hope you're having a good morning. I always have a good evening when I walk right down the street to one of my favorite places. That's Red Cow or Red Rabbit. And the drink guru, the cocktail guru, the wizard of rum, the beverage director from Red Cow and Red Rabbit joins us now with a really great idea that we can all do during quarantine. Please welcome my friend. There's Ian. Good morning, Ian.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I always like to ask, and you and I are like real friends, not just, as I say, TV friends. How are you doing 5 weeks in to the quarantine?
Well, today's like the second day that I put hair product in my hair. And the first day that I wore something that wasn't just like a t-shirt or some sort of sweatshirt.
Other than grooming, you were here. I was saying, and I think you agree, Ian, you're as connected with the restaurant industry. I love, and here in the Twin Cities, I love the ingenuity that we're really seeing during this time. And I know you agree. People are just, no one is kind of sitting on the sidelines. Everyone is trying to figure out, how do we keep the staffs and how do we keep going during this? And you guys at Red Cow and Red Rabbit have done so many things, but you're here to talk about, you have a cool kind of cocktail idea. Explain what you guys do.
So we're trying to pivot kind of every week and bring up new items just to keep people to having fun, because it is kind of just brutal to sit inside. So right now we're doing cocktail kits, and we have 4 going on at the moment. Everything from like difficult things to make at home to just like pour and serve. So why don't we start making some drinks like right away? So,
well, and here's the good news, and I know you know this. I'm going to show the folks. I have a tray. I have a tray of cocktails, so I will be able to drink along with you safely.
Absolutely.
Because I just walk to my living room. That's it, Ian. So safety first. So what are we making? What are we making first?
Well, first, let's start with, a beverage you would generally have in the morning. So we're going to make Bloody Mary. So our Bloody Mary mix is house made. We make it a lot because we're selling a fair amount of these. So we do 2 ounces of vodka. And then I always mix the Bloody Mary mix directly into the actual vodka, because otherwise it can separate and then it's just not good. So it's about 6 ounces. There's about 5 or 6 in there. So topped with ice. And then our kit itself comes with a bunch of different things. So it comes with, first of all, it comes with Bloody Mary salt rimmer, so you can rim it yourself. It comes with some beef sticks. It comes with cheddar cheese cubes. It comes with olives, so you can just kind of like, garnish it up and have a good old time. If you have like hamburgers or whatever, chili, like small things at home you want to put on there, do that too. It's good. I feel
like Wendy Williams. I'm eating the beef stick. Wendy Williams, like that's all she does for an hour is eat food. I love it.
I watched the John Oliver last night, and I was like, of course, that's all she does.
What do you, Ian? We'll go quickly through the other ones, but with Bloody Marys, they're so popular.
Yeah.
You've been around. You're so good at what you do. What do you think the key is for a good Bloody? What really for you?
There's a balance between the acid, because the tomato juice has a ton of acid in it. And then oftentimes people are adding, hot sauce and lemon juice and horseradish, all these things that are super, super acidic. And so making sure that there's a balance between that acid and like not too acidifying it too much, so not adding too much hot sauce or too much lemon juice, because tomato juice and having a little bit of sugar in there kind of balances everything out, and then it doesn't give you heartburn. It actually gives me heartburn no matter what, but some people can drink like 5 of them, and our Bloody Mary mix is delicious. We also add a ton of dill, so it keeps it super fresh.
Okay, what's next, my friend?
We're going to do a margarita next. So we're doing strawberry Fresno margaritas.
Okay.
So you'll get in a little cute jar like this. This is our strawberry syrup, which is just fresh strawberries and lime juice mixed together, and then a little bit of Fresno tincture. So just a little bit of spice. It's honestly not like super, super spicy, but it's got a little bit of kick to it just to keep it interesting. And then we've got a little bit of orange crema. This is from our lovely friends over at Tattersall. And then Blanco tequila. So 1 ounce of the triple sec, and then 2 ounces of tequila. And then if you have a fancy glass like this, that'd be really cool. Otherwise, any glass is fine.
I will have you know, I have a fancy glass at home as well. So
good. Drinking margaritas out of a fancy glass is always way more fun. This is also an awesome blender cocktail too, honestly. If you just add about essentially the same amount of ice you would add to shake it, and just throw it in the blender, it makes amazing like slushy. So I highly recommend that.
It's so good. It's so good.
I had one the other day because my sister bought one actually from Red Rabbit, and I was like, "Wow, this is really, really good."
It is.
I'm super happy.
I am really good at my job.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next, my friend?
This is good. Let's make an old fashioned next. So in the old fashioned kit comes this little jar. This is bitters and demerara sugar. So we add half an ounce of that to a mixing tin or a glass. If honestly, the other day when I was making them at home, you can literally just add this to the bottom of a glass and then add your whiskey. So this is 2.5 ounces. This is our bourbon and rye blend here. If you wanted to, instead of like actually, stirring it and doing it every single perfect way that we would do at the restaurant, that's perfectly fine. Just like putting all that in a glass, topping it with ice, and then calling it a day. This one, I'm going to stir a little bit and then put it over a big cube. If you have big cubes at home, you can buy the fancy ice cube trays from like Amazon or Williams-Sonoma or other places. But nonetheless, it's that.
I'm not an old-fashioned kind of guy, but I really this is really good, Ian.
Especially like as a kind of at end of the day drink, and just like have a couple or like maybe not too many before you end the day. So.
Okay, now, we are sadly out of time already. What's this fourth one? Just tell everyone what this fourth one is.
Our fourth one is our famous Moscow Mule. So it's our house-made ginger beer. We're making it here in house. We always do. It's fresh ginger juice, lemon and lime, and then simple syrup and water. And we carbonate it. It comes in an awesome mason jar like this to stay carbonated. And then it's just like vodka. You can use whiskey or rum, whatever you like, and make an awesome ginger beer cocktail. Perfect.
Red Rabbit has to go. They have take and bake options. They have the drink kits. You guys are open Wednesday through Sunday, right, Ian?
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 8, and then on Friday and Saturday, we're open until 9.
Red Rabbit MN and redcowmn.com for more. Ian, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah.
We're going to take a break, everybody, and we will be back right after this. And welcome back to the Jason Show at Home Edition. I'm Jace. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Right now, though, the show is going to get a lot better because we have two guests that America loves. First, he is America's favorite daytime producer, Ted, everyone. Right, look at that. Ted.
Hello.
Ted. What's up, Ted?
Thank you. Hello.
And he's America's favorite disgruntled daytime executive producer. It's Jeff, everyone. There we go.
I'm never disgruntled.
Never. You're always a ray of... Right, Ted? He's never disgruntled.
Never.
That's right. Jeff, we'll start with the oldest first. That would be you. Wow, you look clear as a bell. Did you get new internet since last we spoke?
I tightened the cables.
No, it looks really good. You're still in New York City, I see. That's right. Are you wrapping me all? Ted, he's wrapping me, and the segment just got started. That's right. Kill. That's right. Don't say that, Jason. Don't say that. Don't say it at all.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Ted, let's start with you. Last time we checked in with you, you were watching Glee. How's that going? Have you discovered anything new? What's going on?
Glee is still going really good. I think I haven't really, maybe 2 or 3 more episodes. I watched this one show called Too Hot to Handle.
Okay, everybody is talking about this show. What is this? I saw it on my menu.
It's actually
look, Jeff's already judging. Look him; he was shaking his head in judgment.
It's actually perfect for the quarantine because it's these really super hot singles that go on this island. They're like all over each other for the first 12 hours. And then they realize that in order to get the prize money at the end, they can't touch each other.
They can't what?
No making out, no other things. Whoopee. Yeah. Because if they
watch
do that,
your fingers, Ted.
the prize money goes down.
Oh, so the more they touch each other, they get a point total? No wonder.
No,
wasn't this a show and tell segment? What's going on?
I know, but Jeff, we got to go where the conversation goes, and
they can't touch each other.
Okay. Okay, we'll get into it. Obviously, Ted, Jeff is not interested in this. We'll have to, Ted, you and I and the viewers, we'll do this separately.
I know. Preview.
He's like, okay, we have 3 minutes. I know. Okay, fine, Jeff. Let's start with you. Okay, fine. We're doing a show and tell, Judgy Janet. What's your show and tell today?
Well, I have 2, and I'll make them quick. My first is from 2003.
Okay, next we're gonna go to Ted. And
okay, no, it's an article from CJ, and in it she talks about Peter Fonda being in town, and it says Peter Fonda left skid marks on Buzzboy film critic Jason Matheson.
What?
Yes.
What?
He said Peter Fonda's limo almost hit Jason Matheson. Now, the reason why I still have this is because my picture was with Peter Fonda.
Oh,
look at that!
When he was I made CJ back in the day, 17 years ago.
Wow, and it wasn't even like a relationship scandal. That's why I was usually in there.
No. Now, my next one, a few months ago, we had a silhouette artist on the show. Do you remember that?
No.
Well, the last time I was at Disney World, I had my silhouette done.
Oh, yes.
No way! Oh,
and that's me.
Yes! Shut up.
This is from 1984.
That is and you know what's so funny, Jeff? My show and tell is similar to that, but we'll get to it. I don't want to rob your time. Look at that.
Oh, it's Disney related? Shocker.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well, Ted, we're done with Jeff. What's your show? What's your quarantine show and tell today?
Someone posted a message and they were wondering if this was like a Brett Favre bobblehead up here. And they wanted to know if I was a Packer fan. The answer is yes. But I have more than that. I have.
He's up out of his chair.
Brett Favre signed photo. Where is it? Somewhere in there. His signature is somewhere in there. But here's the thing. This could be worth a lot of money.
Why?
Because I had the certificate of authenticity. Unfortunately, I have lost that. So this is worthless.
Ooh.
So that
but it's real.
That could have been signed by like Carl Favre.
Right.
Okay. Jeff, are you raising your hand with a question? What, you have a question?
Would it be worth more if it was when he was a Viking, Brett Favre?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh. Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. Well,
what's yours, Jason?
Well, mine is, look at this. Now, Jeff laughed. First, I'm going to show an embarrassing high school photo at the end of the show because we're running out of time here. So I'll show that. That's the mirror image photo, Jeff, that we all took in the 80s. So we have that. And then this is Disney related. A Jason Show viewer made this for me. How cool is that? Look at that guy.
Oh.
Isn't that
lovely.
great? Yes, Father Bear Workshop there made that for me. Such a good guy. And look at that. Look at the craftsmanship. So there we go. Gentlemen, thank you so much for playing show and tell. Jeff, you look sensational. Oh, you just did the Dick Clark there. There we go. That was great. Thank you.
What about Ted? Ted looks good.
Ted always looks good. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back, everyone, to the Jason Show Home Edition. He is my friend, first and foremost, but he's also one of the most popular, if not the most popular radio guy in the mornings. I like to shower him with compliments because he deserves it. Author, singer, dancer, aerobics instructor. He did that too. Ladies and gentlemen from K-Fan, give it up. It's Chris Hawkey, everybody.
Hey!
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, especially I had no idea I was all those things. I don't remember the aerobics, but 80s and 90s were a long decade for me, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Remember, I was watching an old show. You and I are about the same age. Remember aerobics, Chris? Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah, I remember it very, very well. I remember Suzanne Summers did one. I think Jane Fonda did one. And then
Victoria Principal?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah. Those were the good old days. I don't know. You know, what do we know?
Whether folks are my friend or not, or they come on all the time or the first time, these interviews, I always like to start with just the basic on a human level. How you doing?
You know, thank you for asking. We're doing just fine. We talked about it before we started this, Jason. The morning show's still on the air. I'm so glad that I have a place to go in the morning, and I know how lucky I am that that's the case. And just doing my best to help everybody by staying away from everybody and going in and doing my job. And we always say with the morning show, and I know you guys kind of feel the same way, we're kind of the island in the storm, right? Where we want people to be able to come to get away from all the seriousness of everything. So we're still laughing in the morning. We're still having fun and doing our best just to put our head down and get through this.
How are you doing the balance, though? Because I know for me, we try to be uplifting and happy, but we're human, and and we read the same stuff the listeners are listening to. How do you keep a balance?
Yeah, that's always the thing, right? You got to find a way to walk that line. I think it's obvious. You can't ignore the news. You can't ignore the big things. What I try my very hardest to do, and in fact, I would say in a lot of ways, I'm probably working harder now than I was before. I get in a little earlier to try to find the good news, to try to find the angle that'll give people hope. There's so much of the opposite out there. So I think that's the big thing, is going out of my way to try to make that a possibility every morning. If there's a new breakthrough in some sort of vaccine, if there's a new breakthrough on the testing, if somebody actually cooperated with somebody else and gave somebody the thumbs up, those are the news stories I go to first. And then, obviously we're the Viking station. We're kind of a sports show. So I try to get people's minds back on the things that matter a little bit less than the life and death situation that life has become.
We'll get back to the show and life in general a little bit, but you're here for a reason. People are looking for things to listen to. You have an audio book, my friend.
I do. I'll tell you. I started writing it's my personal fictional version of the Wonder Years. Okay, if that does anything for you, if you remember that old television show.
I do.
Yeah, Winnie Cooper and so on and so forth. Yeah. Well, I grew up in a very, very small town on the borders of Indiana and Ohio. This goes back to, I'm not ashamed to say, the 1980s, the early 1980s. So I started writing this book about myself and my friends and the way I grew up in this small town. Video games were a brand new thing. Nobody had a cell phone. Nobody even had a pager yet. The most important thing to myself and to my small group of friends was playing football together. So I started with my 8th grade year. As I said, it's not a biographical piece. It's a fictional version of my growing up. So it follows this young man, DJ, who's the main character, who is a little bit bigger than his classmates, loves football. That's the main important thing. But he realizes after a while that everyone at school just considers him a dumb jock. So the story is about not only trying to play football, but also trying to win this academic award to prove to everybody that you can be an athlete and you can be smart and that he's more than people think he is.
The title, Chris, Possibilities Lined in Chalk, where did that come from?
That's what I always saw the football field as being for me. Again, I'm not a very big guy, so in a lot of ways, as I said, it's a fictional look at my childhood. The main character is a big guy, but for me, I grew up, I started kindergarten with 60 kids that I graduated high school with, okay? And I only had 69 kids in my graduating class in my small town. I did everything with these kids. But the one thing we did from the time we were little until the time we graduated as seniors in 1989 was we played football together. And that was the escape, getting out on that football field with my friends. Anything was possible. We grew up in a small town. The factories were going to other countries and failing miserably. A lot of times, to be honest with you, every Christmas time, my parents got laid off, just like everybody's parents got laid off from the factory because the factory shut down. But on the football field, literally anything was possible. You could be anything, anyone you wanted to be. You might even get a scholarship to go to college. You might become something more. So that's where the title comes from. Possibilities Lined in Chalk. Anything was possible under those Friday night lights.
Don't you feel, Chris, I know, I love that you and I are, like I said, the same age. I love that I was a kid of the 80s, and you and I have a lot in common. I'm from Michigan City, Indiana, in the steel mill area. And when we were growing up, our generation, you saw all the factories leaving, and you saw the effect that it had on your relatives.
100%. And I'm so grateful that I was sort of ignorant to that, if you know what I mean. I can't imagine what it was like for my mom and dad to be living like that all the time. And you know, it was so strange, Jason, to go from where everybody had so much and people were buying new cars until 6 months later when you were standing in line to get the government cheese.
Yeah.
You know, but that's
literally.
how life
I mean,
was.
people laugh about the government cheese, but Chris, I know it's not a joke. I mean, my grandparents, Betty and Earl, they did.
Yeah. That's how it was, and that's what existence was. But you know what else? In that small town, in that time, there was no social media. There were no cell phones. If you did something stupid, it didn't haunt you for the rest of your life necessarily. And I kind of, when I started writing this book, as I said, it's taken me 12 years to finish it. But I just kind of, even back then, you ache for those times, especially for my kids. You know, I ache for a lifetime when you didn't get necessarily bombarded by everything that is terrible about you every second of every day. So I wanted to give myself a look back at what that was like, maybe give my kids a look back at what that was like. And then if anybody ever read, or at that time, I wasn't even thinking of it as an audiobook, but anybody who took this walk down this road with me might go back in time to literally, again, a time when the most important thing was whether the pretty girl in class liked you, whether or not you got a C or an A on the test so you were eligible to play sports. And that was the only thing that really mattered. Those were the worst things in life that seemed so monumental, but right now seem like a pretty good score.
Speaking of social media, I always admire you. You're a very public person. You're on a radio show that has a huge audience, varied demographic. You handle people that don't have the same belief systems that you do or that your co-hosts do really well on social media. I watch you on Twitter. How do you do that? How do you keep your calm? And how is it, because this is what I try to do. I try to hear people, not just listen. I try to hear where they're coming from.
Well, thank you for saying that, Jason, because you know that's a wrestling match. It really is. The biggest thing that I try to do is not to react too quickly. And if I write down the first thing I think, I'm usually going to be in trouble. So I legitimately try to think about what I'm going to say before I hit send or before I hit tweet on that. But for me, legitimately, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know where my leanings lie. I completely get that, and I'm open about that. But I legitimately don't mind opposing point of views.
Yes.
And that's the key. That's the way it's supposed to be, in my view. It can be multiple points of view as long as you're willing to listen to the other person's point of view and not just hear it, but actually listen to it. And so as long as people are willing to give me that benefit of the doubt and to listen to my perspective, I really go out of my way and I try very hard to listen to other people's point of view. That said, to go back to being the Viking station and somebody who loves football so much, I block like the offensive tackle. If somebody gets on there and starts being rude and starts saying things that are offensive to myself or to anybody that might be following me, I block and move on. You really do have to understand that you're never gonna change somebody's mind. Most people, you're not going to change their mind, but
especially not on Twitter. Not on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't even know what it is, but I love really good discussions with people who are willing to listen. I don't ever expect people to agree with me. That would be silly. That would be crazy. But I enjoy I do enjoy that aspect of social media, is that you can discuss things as long as people are respectful of each other.
The book is called Possibilities Lined in Chalk. That's the book. The guy right there, Chris Hawkey, the best, literally one of the best human beings in the business. Thank you, friend.
Thank you very much. I'll give you a copy of the book if you'll give me some biscuits.
Done. I'll have them shipped to you tomorrow.
I love it, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Chris, everybody. And of course, you can listen to him on KFan as well. We're going to take a break and we'll be back right after this. And welcome back, everyone, to the Jason Show Home Edition on this Thursday. Don't forget, we're going to be doing new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and best ofs on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So keep your questions coming in on our Facebook page. Just search for Jason Show TV, and I'll be answering questions and stuff at the beginning of each of our new episodes. Speaking of that, earlier in the episode with Jeff and Ted, I said I had an embarrassing photo. Here it is. Photographer Eric, take please. Every 80s child had a photo like this, the shadow, the mirror image. It was hysterical. It's embarrassing. Not proud of it, but there it is. There it is. One more little piece of business. This was a hot dish segment we didn't get to earlier. Listen to this. Time spent on streaming platforms in the U.S. has increased 34% since the pandemic hit. Yeah, really? I have done nothing but be on Quibi, Hulu, Netflix, and more. And coming up, I bring this up for a reason. Next week, I'll be telling you all the things that I'm streaming and playing that's keeping me very, very centered. That's coming up on Tuesday. But right now, that is going to do it for us. Thanks to all of the frontline folks that are keeping us safe, keeping us fed. I'm talking grocery store workers, nurses, doctors, factory workers, mail deliverers, restaurant folks. All of you, thank you. And furthermore, you know what I'm going to say. You go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you live or live-ish on Tuesday.